back to part 2 with Keith Edwards, the better half of the Edwards family down there in the studio. Millie, so polite. Not like the owner.
Yeah, dogs are like their owners.
No lip here from Millie. John Pearson, James Gregg, and guess what? We just spent 20 minutes in part 1. Got carried away with all sorts of chat. And never mentioned Sheffield United versus Manchester United.
Yeah.
Unbelievably. So we're going to have to talk about that. Hey, let's kick off part 2 with that. What a game!
Yeah.
What a game! And I mean, who'd have thought? What are we? It'll be November the 24th, and Sheffield United above Manchester United in the table, only by a point.
I'll take that, bud.
Hey,
I'll take that.
Who'd
I wish it was a Saturday afternoon game. Bit old-fashioned, me.
3 o'clock.
Saturday afternoon on the telly or something like that.
It's a long time to wait. 4:30.
4:30 on a Sunday. But you know what? It's what an occasion. What an occasion! And this team of mine have deserved it. They've worked so hard, and this is like, you know, it's a special one, isn't it? When you get the likes of Man U coming down and what have you. So yeah, great.
Well, all Blades fans would have circled it, but isn't there almost like a change of atmosphere around those games where perhaps people thought Man City, Liverpool, Spurs, Man United, we'll just go and enjoy it. We don't expect anything. We'll just go and enjoy it. If we lose, we lose. There's not that feeling now, is there?
No. It's we seem to be catching teams at the right time. You know, I didn't think Tottenham haven't played well in recent weeks. Arsenal were the same, I think. But overall, I still don't put that down to the result. I thought we were the better team. Yeah. We played better. We worked harder, and it was exciting. It was great to watch, and it's an awful shame that the goalkeeper's going to be missing it because he's a Manchester United player. But that's a big loss to us. That
Dean
adds a bit of an added dimension to it, though, doesn't it? You know, it sort of sets it up for something to happen, doesn't it? Simon Moore, you know, I think the thing is he's going to. All the Blades fans are going to be behind him, aren't they, Keith? Yeah. Imagine, it's not like anyone's going to be going, oh, for goodness sake, because he did a really good job when he was, there wasn't like a howler of a goalkeeper and we tried to force him out on loan or anything. He's just sort of had a better goalkeepers come in since.
Good keeper, good player. It's a special occasion, and it's a big occasion for him. To be fair, you've only got to go back to the Liverpool game, and when he's made a howler there, hasn't he?
Yeah. I want to say something else there, but it would have been all right.
He's a howler, but you know what I liked about that? He's recovered extremely well, and that's how I see this other kid. This other kid, Simon, will come in, and for me, he'll do a confident job. Two really good, confident keepers, and that's the type of squad that we've put together. Well, Chris has put together.
He's been unlucky not to play more often. In my view, based on what he's done previously, he's a good character. He's been in here twice. I mean, he's got to be a good guy, mustn't he?
He's got a good. Exactly. Yeah. But he's got to have a good attitude though as well to kind of wait in the wings whilst Jamal Blackman was in there, and then obviously Dean Henderson. I think when he's had to come in, he's done a really good job. I think so.
Absolutely
interesting. But
you don't see it really materially affecting the game as such, the goalkeeping factor.
Well, I think there's a lot of pressure on him. The earlier save, the earlier touch will be better for him. He can settle down. He's forced to be a bit nervous. Huge game.
But you almost expect now, and I don't know if it's an unfair expectation, Sheffield United to be competitive, no matter in every game, as they have been so
guaranteed.
far.
You can guarantee it. You can guarantee the performance. You'll know exactly what type of runs they make. It's like it's a well-oiled machine now. We just work hard, we push forward, we don't worry about the defensive duties because we get back so quickly. We work harder than every team in that division. It's as simple as that. I can't believe there's a team in that division that work harder than us. It's as simple as that. And that's what, it's not just based from hard work. There's a lot of quality there as well. Real good quality.
And obviously Manchester United have got tremendous quality.
Well,
Let's not rule that out,
It'd be no surprise if they win, will it?
No. 10 times the wage bill, isn't it?
Equally, it'd be no surprise if Sheffield United get, as they say, get a result.
Yeah.
Hope so. I don't know what you think, John.
I feel left out at the moment. I don't like talking about Premier League.
Well, both teams are going in the right direction, aren't they?
Yeah, they certainly are. I tell you what, the Championship's got the Premier League over the Premier League. There's no VAR.
Yeah, I'm really glad about that this year. I think VAR could spoil the game totally. I mean, I would use the cricket one. I'd give each manager a button that he presses in. You'd have one chance in the first half, another chance in the second. If he gets it right, he keeps it. But I think it was Chris Wilder said, VAR was for the Maradona type incident, not because somebody's got a toe offside.
Yeah, or the Thierry Henry one when Ireland...
When he's handballed it.
Yeah.
Deliberate handball. But, it wasn't for an inch, somebody's got a toenail over the line. And it took 3.5 minutes for that decision.
Well, Keith was there. I mean, it probably seemed like longer to you, did it?
You think for me, I had to talk for 3.5 minutes.
No, God, that's
No problem for you.
Yeah, no problem for him, is it?
It is at the moment.
Just get Millie to open her mouth and to fill in for you.
So I would give the managers. It goes down to the managers. They've got 10, 20 seconds to go bang. The referees and the linesmen manage the game exactly as they have done in the past. So we go back to all that. If there's an incident where it's blatant, bang, presses a button, goes back.
As a man who timed many a run, Keith, going on to through balls and invariably scoring, let's be fair, invariably scoring, what do you think about this slide rule approach to offside based on a...
I think it's come about because I think players have overreacted towards these decisions, personally. I think you've got to be man enough to accept it and come to terms with it. No, it's not. It's not today's players, but overall, I just feel when I think back to all the goals that we would have scored if we'd have, because we were onside, but then linesmen possibly missed it. Well, it cancels itself out because some go for you and some don't. Right. But it's complicated it. I feel sorry for them because I think they've tried to get everything right. I think they've tried too hard to get, to make sure, the Tottenham game, when, as you say, it took 3.5 minutes to find out that it was slightly offside, but from that ball, the ball had come right across to the other wing. There was a lovely little 1-2 and a great cross and the perfect goal for the McGoldrick. Yeah. And that's his only goal, possibly, that was his chance to score his first goal in the Premiership.
And he celebrated.
And it's cancelled out.
Went straight up to the fans and was, loving it, and then it was cancelled out when they were sort of all.
And we were just looking around, going, "Well, what do we do and what do we say?" There's only so much you can talk about it.
I thought Chris Wilder was incredibly diplomatic.
Yeah, he was.
What he said about that.
He's got
because a lot of us were fuming. I swore on Twitter about it, and I don't usually swear in public, but. To me, it required it, and that's the only time I've ever sworn on Twitter was over that VAR.
I think he handled it extremely well and all, because I think he would have been awfully disappointed for McGoldrick, who has led the line so well. Let's not forget this guy come from Ipswich, and didn't score too many goals for him, but seemed to be just potting about in that division in the team that was struggling. And then he's got his first goal for Sheffield United at Tottenham. What a place to get your first Premiership goal, and it's cancelled out from a move. Literally
cancelled out by a piece of nonsense, really.
Yeah, really.
And McGoldrick. You're a goal scorer, but in that role, that linking role between, he's absolutely superb, isn't he?
At that level of football, I would have said, and I would have been wrong. I would have said he wouldn't be able to do it.
Right.
Simply because I always thought the Premiership was all about pace. And being able to get by people, because they are quick, the defenders are very quick. That's maybe the difference between my time and today's time. And that's how well Billy Sharp's done, because he's had to deal with things with very quick defenders. But for him to come in and just link things up like that, and he's just looked as if he's just got a new lease of life, and he plays well. As Chris has highlighted, he does bring people into the game. Yes, he needs to score a few more goals. He's had a few chances and he's missed them, but he's maybe a bit anxious with that. He's recently started playing international football. I don't know if he played before. I can't recall.
I think he had. Yeah.
He's
brought back not much.
Not a lot. I wouldn't have.
Man of the match last 2 games he's played. Keith.
Yeah. So. He's just been outstanding for the team, and rightly so. You sort of question. We've got 2 guys there. We've spent 20 million something in that region and 10 million. And at one stage, they weren't getting it. Neither of them were getting a game.
We'll come to Mousse and also McBurney a bit later. But Sheffield Wednesday and strikers. Stephen Fletcher has been a man mountain, hasn't he, in that position? Yeah. For Gary.
I love Steve Fletcher. You know that week in and week out, he's going to give you a performance. No, he's been a little bit unlucky. Is it the bar? Is it the post? And not to get more goals. And he's having a really good season. I always think he's somebody that you start with in your team. I've thought this for the last 3 or 4 years. He never lets you down. He might have a game where he's not as good as he was last week, but it's not for the want of trying. It's not for the want of ability. He competes. And I think he leads the line really well.
Gary Monk has experimented horses for courses on occasions and the way he's set up. But what's his best formation, do you think, now, and his best team? Do you think the Swansea team was close to it?
Yeah, I think
4-4-2.
I mean, that worked well at home to Swansea, and it worked well. We did it against Leeds, didn't we? I think Matty played as well. He probably doesn't get the credit that he deserves. I mean, I think he's got bags of skill. I mean, we've seen goals where he's come from the corner, curl one in the top corner. I thought he showed some really nice touches against England, you know. Yeah. So, I mean, playing against England, what the hell?
And that headed goal, that diving header in the previous game.
Yeah, what a goal! What a goal! He scores some good goals. Probably needs to score more, but you know, he contributes as well. He's a different kind of player, but you can smash a ball at him. He'll hold it up. He brings players in.
Yeah. The one thing we've not expected to see from Sheffield Wednesday, but it's surfaced in the previous 2 games, has been individual errors at the back. Because previously they looked watertight, didn't they? But at Blackburn conceded 2, and 2 bad ones again against Swansea. Is that just a blip or what?
I think it is. I mean, we seem to go into panic stations against Swansea. We scored the goal. We've all celebrated. Yeah. We're into injury time already. We've got 2 or 3 minutes left. And it seemed as though then we all went back in the 18-yard box and we sat deep and we didn't believe in ourselves, you know, to keep the ball. It had gone, because the game had gone against us the week before, it just seemed as though a little bit of panic stations. And there was a couple of errors for the goal at the end.
Yeah. OK, well, we'll come back to Blades and we'll come back to striking talking points. I mean, McBurney hasn't fired yet, but there might be reasons for it. Keith will have his theories on that in a little while. Just before James, you come in. I'm not going to let my research of today go to waste because I was harangued by Keith Edwards in the Bramall Lane press room just quite recently about not knowing who Sheffield United's record goal scorers were, and I couldn't be sure. But I've done this research, and you're high in the pantheon of greats there, Keith. Pantheon's a good word, isn't it?
It is a good word.
Harry Johnson, 205 league and cup goals for Sheffield United, between 1919 and 1930. I don't think any of us can comment on that. No. Can we? Would you like to comment on that? Alan Woodward, or I did see play, fantastic. 191. Derek Doc Pace, 175, and somebody else with 166. Who's that? Who's the other one?
Yeah.
166 league and cup goals.
Yeah.
It's not bad, is it, really?
No, pretty good.
It's nice for you to highlight that. Taking into account, I can hardly walk now. So, the only thing what angered me when you were talking about it and we were throwing questions at each other was the fact that you only had one answer to everything.
Billy Sharp.
Billy Sharp.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. He's not even there, is he?
Well, he can't be far behind now.
That's because I'm so young, you see. I don't remember these players. Right, OK. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And if we're talking post-war, he's third. Right.
Nice. Yeah, exactly. Post-war third. Sounds better, that, Keith, doesn't it?
I prefer highest living goal scorer today. Because unfortunately, they've all passed away. Especially the one in 1990.
Out of anyone alive on this planet, you've scored the most goals for United.
That's a great point.
Yeah,
he's
good way of putting it.
the highest living goal scorer.
Yeah, good way of putting it. Like that, Keith.
Billy's catching my mind, and if there's anybody who's going to beat us, it'll be Billy, and I'll be more than happy for him because he's been an outstanding player for Sheffield United. I think when you consider the reason why I'm a bit giddy about Sheffield United in many respects is you think you've got a Sheffield United owner. All right, that's changed recently, and it may change again. I don't know. I'm not privileged with that kind of information, but you've got a Sheffield United ex-player as a manager, Sheffield United captain, and we've gone up with this team. You know, a lot of these players have come through Division 1, Championship, and now the Premiership, and holding their own. Early stages yet, but that's what most Sheffield folk like about it.
Indeed.
James. Well, they're rewarded with that game against Manchester United on Sunday, 4:30. is the kick-off time. You can watch it on telly as well. It'll be all over Sky and whatever, with all the build-up and all the analysis from our favourite pundits, won't it? Wednesday are away at West Brom on Saturday. I should also mention Sheffield United's women are away at Durham in the Cup tonight. At the moment, as we speak, they're 2-0 up after about 35 minutes. Good for them. Good win for them as well at Lewis last weekend as well. They won 2-1. A really tough away trip, that one, and they're third in the Women's Championship. Hallam in non-league, they're away at Selby after 2 defeats. Sheffield Club, they're also away. They're away at Wisbech this weekend. But Worksop at home to Cleethorpes. Penistone, top of their League 2. They've got Garforth at home this weekend as well. So if you fancy a bit of non-league football, they're the 2 venues where you can head this weekend. Panthers, they're the visitors to the Fly DSA Arena on Saturday to take on the Sheffield Steelers in the English Ice Hockey Elite League. They've got Coventry Blaze on Sunday, have the Steelers as well. And in basketball, the Sharks, they've got a little break now, but they did lose that game that I talked about last week to Glasgow in the BBL Cup. In golf, it's the season-ending DP World Championships in Dubai at the Earth Course, an amazing place for the season sort of grand finale. All the best players in the world are there. Rory McIlroy was playing with Sheffield's very own Matt Fitzpatrick today. Matt managed 1 under, Rory shot 8 under, so Rory's 1 shot off the lead. Matt did all right himself. He can actually, he's got an outside chance of actually winning the whole Order of Merit. And of course, if you win the tournament itself, it's a world record, €3 million. Wow. So, yeah, not bad for a week's work. And also, just mark your card on this. Spoke about the local boxing contingent quite a bit on this programme. Super Tommy Frank is a boxer trained by Ryan and Glyn Rhodes. He's at Ponds Forge in action next Friday. He is already the super flyweight Commonwealth belt holder. There's loads of tickets still available. Just go on Dennis Hobson. He's the local Sheffield boxing promoter, and he's selling loads of tickets at night of professional boxing. So, yeah, there you go.
Brilliant. Thanks
All
very
right,
much.
no
James.
worries.
Yeah, excellent. Cricket started off quite well.
I stayed up foolishly till about 4 a.m. watching.
Did you?
Yeah, it was very stodgy. Yeah,
He only
it
got
was good.
2, which I was disappointed with, but it's been a solid batting performance on the
Yeah, they were good. I think, they had to sort of show that their approach had changed, and they did that last night massively. It was actually too much the way.
2.5 and over. It's gone back to what it used to be.
It was good though. I enjoyed it. Yeah, proper gritty stuff.
Gritty stuff. We always expect grit from Sheffield United, and we're getting it, but we're getting so much more besides. And Lys Mousset, alongside, starting to nail down a place there, with McGoldrick just behind him. How good is he? How dangerous can he continue to be? Strengths for you?
You take into account he didn't play a great deal at Bournemouth, but he's got a good international record. He's very quick, and as I touched on before, does the Premiership need that? Well, McGoldrick's not the quickest, and I think you would admit to that, but Mousset is very quick, so I expect great things for him. Played to strengths, and what have you, if he gets a few chances. He's proved he can knock the ball in the back of the net. He adds a lot to the team. Another great signing, I have to say. The
£10 million.
10 million. Well, yeah, but
it's a lot of money. But
well, it is. It depends how you look at it, doesn't it? You took what have had to strengthen the squad. Matt Burney, I still think he's got a big part to play. He leads the line really well. Maybe it takes a little bit more time to settle down, but he hasn't done bad since he's in there. He scored a great goal, so yeah, they're all doing well.
Yeah, he also had one chalked off by VAR, didn't he, against Southampton?
That's right. Yeah,
he did.
Which was
I missed that game.
Legitimately ruled out because John Egan was interfering with the line of the goalkeeper. But you do get comments, and people are very quick to judge. But he hasn't had a lot of minutes on the field, has he? Particularly McBurney.
Well, Chris won't worry about things like that because that just tells you something about Chris, doesn't it? The biggest signings, 2 biggest signings, and one took ages to get back into the game, to start the game, and the other one possibly got in there a little bit quicker, but then he's left him out. He plays who he thinks is doing the right 2 at the time.
Yeah.
And nobody questions it, and 100% of it is right. It's as simple as that. He gets it right every time, Chris, when he puts a team out. We're all full of opinions, and we've played the game. We're entitled to have that opinion. And I look at it and think, I didn't think we'd play them 2. No. And off they go, and they're just great.
And
every time.
Nobody thought Lundstrom would play this season.
Well, that is something.
It's just a joke, isn't it?
What an engine he's got now.
Yeah.
I think he played 5 times in the Championship.
Something like that.
So he's played, but he's played before with Chris. So he's obviously seen something in that pre-season. I think this lad's got I might be wrong here when I say this. It looks as if he's got fitter, and he's more composed in front of goal. Some of the goals he's got have been in the 6-yard box. Now, I don't recall him getting that far forward before, but outstanding. Simply outstanding, as all of them have. I mean, I could sit here and just mention them all day long, and they've been that good.
In part one, you just said the best ever, as far as.
Oh, it is, yeah, the best style of play.
And do you include the Corrie Woodward era in that?
I think you have to, because of the quality of football that we've played.
Yeah.
I think you talk about Curry and Woodward, you're talking about two individuals who were outstanding players for Sheffield United, played an awful lot of games. Just, as I said, just fantastic players. Have we got something like that? We don't miss that because of the players what we've got now are all just outstanding as individuals.
Yeah.
It's just a great team. Every time you go away, you look at it and you think it's just a team effort. And what proves that is we've got just as good as a chance of winning away from home as we have at home.
Yeah, it's incredible. And I can tell from your enthusiasm just how much you're enjoying watching it and commenting on it. And that comes across with you, John. I mean, a number of times we played Wednesday goals here, and your voice just comes in, way, like this. You can't disguise that.
Well, I was born 200 yards away from the ground, and I've supported Wednesday since I can remember. So I've come straight from work, so that's why I've still got my gear on. And
tell us a little bit about your work, because that's quite interesting. What you're involved in, away from.
I am really passionate about what I do. I mean, we run a fit club, and so we do a 12-week education program, which is completely free. We're starting some more in January. And we've had some amazing results. I mean, the oldest bloke that comes to us is Derek. He's 87. We're training at the side of the pitch, and he's still running around the pitch, and he's brilliant. But we've had other sort of success stories. We've done the 10K the last couple of years, and we've got a couple of people who couldn't probably run from this wall to that wall over there, 20 yards, who last year completed the 10K in under an hour. Right, amazing. This bloke's lost 3 stone. He's joined a running club, and it comes down to us. We do a night time and we do a daytime. We do it 4 times a week.
This is for anybody.
It's for anybody. Yeah.
Specifically for people perhaps don't get a lot of exercise, or really ought to try and get some.
There's a lot of people who won't, don't fancy going to a gym. Yeah. But there's such a tight-knit group as well.
Where do you run this again?
We're going to start another one on Monday, January the 13th. We've got two sessions on there. We've got an afternoon and a nighttime one, and the same on Tuesday the 14th. So we've got 4 classes that people could enrol for.
Whereabouts?
At the ground.
At the ground, at Hillsborough.
And we train around the pitch.
And Keith, you know somebody who's seen more Sheffield Wednesday games than anybody?
Oh, yes, I can't get off this programme without giving my mate an opportunity, only based on the fact that I'll get a really easy run tomorrow. So it's Roger, and I think he's classed as one of the third highest supporter who's seen that many games.
He's seen thousands of games.
He watched John's goal. He asked me to mention it to John about his goal against Swansea was one of the best goals he's ever seen, and John said, well, I scored against twice on that day.
Well, I didn't score on that day, but...
he scored...
Away from home you did, didn't you? And it was your debut?
No, my debut was against Bristol City, but I played the first 4 games. I scored in my first 4 games. I thought, it's easy. I'm going to score. I don't know where it went wrong.
What happened at Elland Road in March 1988? Leeds United versus Sheffield United. March 1998.
Well, I know where you're going, and
what did you do?
Millie, fetch.
Well,
get that leg.
It was 5-0. He scored a hat trick.
I mean,
yeah.
Do you know what? I almost enjoyed a goal that I scored at Bramall Lane.
Keith, I'm going to delight you now, because I'm going to have to close it down. We've only got 12 seconds left. But it remains to thank Keith Edwards, brilliant, and John Pearson, and James Gregg, but particularly Millie. See you soon on my YouTube later. Millie, well done.
Well, hey.